Hello and welcome back to Train Sim World, and this time we're on the Great Western Railway. As you can see, we're on the Great Western Express route, the Great Western Express DLC, whatever you want to call it, and it is a very snowy day. Here we go. As you can see on the route, we're in Reading and we're going to be taking a drive to London Paddington today in the snow. You can imagine this was done in late 2017. We had a lot of snow around late 2017. I don't think there was so much around this area, you know, Oxfordshire and going into London. There wasn't that much in the way of snow. However, you know, I like the snow, and I actually remember doing one in Train Simulator 2013 or 2014. I did actually it may have been 2015. I did a video where I was taking an Intercity 125, so the same train but in a different livery and with a different engine, a Valenta engine, from Reading all the way to London Paddington in the snow. So we're going to do something very similar over here. So let's get this show on the road, and we're going to be doing a 2017 in review video, and I'm going to be talking about what I did and didn't like about the Train Simulator, sort of Train Simulator universe, Train Sim World universe. Right, let's have a look. It's a lot of snow. That really is a lot of snow, that is. You can just see there. So let's switch on our wipers first, which is alright, that would help if I had that on. I should get the wipers started. There we go, the wipers are now started. Fantastic. Okay, we can see it's quite windy as well, so you can see the amount of wind there. I'm going to stick this in, I'm going to turn that key, and we're going to stick that into engine only. I'm going to switch this on. There we go, that's that cleared. That's the AWS, so I'm going to sort that out. We're going to bring the brakes down a little bit. We're going to get our lights on for, let's see, that's daytime running lights. Let's have a look outside. There we go. I'd kind of want to have, in this kind of conditions, I'd like to have more lights on, but looks like we can't do that. Looks like we cannot do that. You can just see the sun over there peeking through. See it. Where is it gone? No, you can't see it from this angle. Where is it? It's there. It is there. Just peeking through. I'm sure that's the sun. I mean, it can't be anything else. Peeking through the clouds as it snows. So, next stop is London Paddington. Let's actually open the doors. So we'll unlock the right-hand side doors. Make sure that the doors are open. There we go. People can get on and off, and then we will be on our way to London Paddington. So what am I going to be doing in this video apart from driving this train? Well, I'm going to be talking about Train Sim World in review. I'm going to be looking at what it brought to the whole simulator franchise, and where I think they fell short and where I think they've done quite well. So we'll start with CSX Heavy Haul. That was the first one that came out, and that actually came out in 2016. And that brought the Sandpatch Grade Railway, if I remember correctly. That was the Sandpatch Grade Railway that it brought to the... do I have to lock the doors again? Oh, maybe, yeah, I have to lock them as well. Right, let's get them locked. There we go. Fantastic. Let's take a nice outside view over here as well. Where's the train? There's my train. Fantastic. And let's be sitting over here as the train leaves. Yep, there we go. Right. We'll reduce the brakes. I think that's fully released. And we'll add in a little bit of power. Should get the train starting to move. Fantastic. Okay, so yeah, we started with the Sandpatch Grade, and we had we had the whole 3 big American locomotives, and there was a lot of detail in that, and I think a lot of people enjoyed. That, as it were, because I think that was a pretty good one. I think that was pretty good. People enjoyed it quite a lot. I think it was a real good showing into what Train Sim World could do, or what Train Sim World was going to be all about, because we'd never seen this kind of graphics before, we'd never seen this kind of detail before, and we'd never actually had a train a train simulator before, an actual train simulator. It had a whole bunch of important stuff that we had to cover in it. There was a lot going on in that. It was really quite special, actually. It really was quite special. Train sim world. So, and everyone thought, wow, this is a big thing. This is going to be a really big thing. It's going to be really great, and there's going to be a whole bunch of great stuff to go with it. And they were right. There was a lot of good stuff to go with it. I did quite a few videos on the CSX Heavy Haul stuff, and it was really interesting. It was one of those. It was one of those simulators where you really started appreciating how complex one of these could be. One of these trains could be. It was really complicated. There was lots to do, but the graphics on it, that was what really stood out amongst everything, was the graphics. Now, I've put this into notch 5 of power. I want to see if something happens here. Something should happen, and I have a feeling it's not going to happen, but I'm interested in seeing whether it does or not. So just keep an eye on that right there. I just want you to keep an eye on that right there. Right, so yeah, so it was really good, and I really enjoyed the amount of stuff it had. You know, the 3 trains were, I think it was 3 trains, were really good. Oh look, we're going to overtake hello. Oh no, is that coming the other way? That's probably coming the other way. So there was plenty of good, you know, a lot of good missions on that. They had the whole refueling mission, and there was a lot of tutorials on how to start the train, and there was some shunt series that you had to do, and you had to take trains up and down this track with lots and lots of tight twisty turns, or long areas, sections where you could get to, you know, 80-90 miles an hour. I think you could only really get to about 70. I think I managed to get to 80 once, but I think the highest speed limit on it was 70. So you could do that. And is that train, what's going on here? All these trains have just stopped. I don't know, but yeah, so there was that, and it was really good to see. It was really good to see what that sort of setup. I think I really enjoyed it. I felt like it was giving a very good sense of what was to come. It was really giving a great sense of what was to come in the simulator, and that was really great. Then we had this. This is something I was looking forward to a whole lot, because you know, I know this railway. I know the Great Western Railway. I know the trains that run on this. I've been on this. We had this in Train Simulator 2000, and well, since Railworks, I think since the original Railworks had this Great Western Railway from Paddington to Reading. Now, I was hoping that this would be the entire Great Western Railway, going to Bristol Temple Mead, to Exeter St David's. You know, I thought it would go all the way out there, over to Cardiff, Cardiff Central, maybe even over to Swansea, given the nature of Train Sim World. Lots of realism, great tracks, and we didn't have that limit anymore in the Unreal Engine. The Unreal Engine doesn't have that limit. You can have a 300-mile long track, and it's not going to be a problem. Unreal Engine can handle it without any issues whatsoever. So I was a little bit disappointed that it was only, again, Paddington to Reading. I mean, I can understand they had to do a lot of work on it, but to have it only Paddington to Reading was a little bit disappointing. Then again, on the other hand, we got 3 new trains. We got this Class 43 with the MTU engine, we got the Class 166 commuter, and we also got ourselves what was the other one? The Class 67 we got. Or was it the Class 67 or Class 66? I think it was the Class 66 we got, which was the freight engine. So we had that one in the DB livery. So we had 3 new engines, which meant that there was plenty to play with as well still on that. And you know, the Paddington to Reading route has given a lot of people a lot of hours of game time in previous train simulators. So to return and to see it in Train Sim World was really great. I thought that was a great thing. It was really fantastic to see that happening. Look at all these trains everywhere. This looks great. This really looks great. I think I can get rid of that really. We can just enjoy it like this. There we go. So that was really great. However, with it came some problems. I started picking up on problems in this train sim world. You know, the sounds, for example, they're still not fixed. The sounds are ridiculously quiet in these trains. I know it's an MTU engine, but an MTU engine is not this quiet. There's another issue that you're seeing right there in front of you. You can see issues with the motion blur on this train. It's not been fixed. It's been out a while and it's not been fixed. The other issues are, this is what really disappointed me, is this is supposed to be a simulator. Now, half the buttons in here don't work. See those lights over there? See those green lights and red lights? That is an ATP system. And see those 3 black squares? There should be LEDs or LCDs, but hold on. No, this train should have LEDs in there. There should be an LED display telling you various bits of information on this, and this should be working. There should be an ATP system running on this to actually did I bring it down 1 notch? Yes, I have. Let's bring it down another notch to actually have speed limits correctly put on this train. So it should be blinking, it should be flashing, it should be telling you what the speed limit is and when you're about to approach a new speed limit, and then it should brake. The train should brake automatically even if you've cancelled the AWS, if you're not in the speed limit, down to the speed limit, so on and so forth. And it hasn't done that, and that's kind of annoying. What on earth has gone on here as well? There we go, we're getting some power back. So there was that, and that was a big issue. I thought, well, hang on a minute, what's going on there? This is supposed to be a simulator, and you haven't really simulated this train. You've essentially done, well, whatever was already in Train Simulator 2000 and whatever number. I mean, at the moment it's Train Simulator 2018, but it's just basically what was in there. And that was really, really disappointing, especially considering I have a mod in Train Simulator, the Armstrong Powerhouse Pack. The Armstrong Powerhouse Pack adds to Train Simulator the full functionality of a HST. I've got it in the Valenta engine. It's got enhanced sounds, everything works inside, you know, the whole ATP system inside the train works. And the other thing is, I just noticed here, we should have had wheel slip. I went into notch 5 and we should have had wheel slip. There's no sense of wheel slip at all on this train in this kind of condition. There should have been a lot of wheel slip. I should not even be able to reach 120 the way I did it. The way I've just got to 120 here, I should not have been able to reach in any which way. As a matter of fact, I think now it's actually picked up on wheel slip. I think. No. If I put that into notch 5, there goes another train. No, it's not picking up wheel slip at all. Basically what would have happened is that should have dropped all the way down to 0 and then slowly climbed back up every time there was wheel slip, and there should have been a white light light up somewhere on this train indicating wheel slip. And apparently it didn't. I didn't hear the noise of the train change at all. So, and the acceleration of this train is not all too realistic. So that's disappointing. I mean, look at this. What I've just done here is I've just gone back down to notch 4 and it's just dropped the power off dramatically. I don't think that's right, and I did make a note that that has bugs, and it didn't seem like it was putting the power down correctly. And I think I'm now justified in saying there are bugs on this and it hasn't been fixed, and that's annoying. Don't get me wrong, visually it looks great. In terms of general driving, it's fine. But the physics are flawed on this, and the fact that the trains don't have the full simulation experience makes me think about this and go, Train Sim World, what's it like? Well, it's really good. Is it better than Train Simulator? Sure. But is it worth buying if you've got Train Simulator with some mods? If you want the visual aspect, sure. If you want the if you don't want the visual aspect and don't care too much about the visual aspect, then not really. Not really. I shouldn't, by the way, be between steps 5 and 4 on this to maintain 125 miles an hour. I should be in steps 3 and 4. Steps 3 and 4 should be where I am to maintain 125 miles an hour. In fact, a train like this may even have cruise control to hold me at that speed. But don't quote me on that, and I don't mind it not having cruise control. It is an old train, and I know that the Valenta versions didn't have cruise control. But there we go. The point is that it wasn't done incredibly well, and that's disappointing. That really is disappointing. So, you know, that was a problem for me. Yes, they have fixed a few bugs. The Class 67 or 66, whatever it is, had some bugs in it, which they managed to quash those. The 166 had some. Right, what's that for? I don't even know what that was for. I can't see any... See, that's the thing. I can't see any sign. Look at this bug. The rails have completely disappeared. That's not the first time I've seen that. I've mentioned that like twice or 3 times now. You can see the rails have just completely disappeared. Have a look outside. There you go. And the back. But they're only back on half of it. The other half and the back everywhere. There we go. So, you know, that to me is... That's a problem to me. I don't like that. Then we had the German one. The latest one on the S-Bahn. Is it the Mitteldeutschland? The Mitteldeutschland Railways. So it's more like a commuter service. So we're looking at a commuter service there. Again, by the way, I shouldn't be even reaching 125 miles. It should have been very difficult for me to reach 125 miles an hour here. It's like this train's got traction control and it's doing everything for me, or insane amounts of grip, which it shouldn't have. I should be struggling to even get to 125. I remember doing it in Train Simulator, and I was struggling to. I think I couldn't even get past 100 miles an hour. I was really struggling to get past that. My next signal is yellow, so I am going to cut the power at this point in time and apply some brakes. There we go. Yep, I can definitely see that as being yellow. I'm now going to apply more brakes. That's gone to green, but that means the next one is going to be yellow. So I am going to continue applying the brakes and slow myself down until I can see. I'm going to slow down to... I'm at 90. I'm going to continue slowing down. I can't see it just yet. So it's still yellow. There we go. And that's gone to green. That may have been a double yellow actually. So now it looks like I'm chasing a train. No, go back. There we go. So it looks like I may be chasing a train here. So I'm going to keep it at about 80 miles an hour. So let's bring the power back in. There we go. And we'll see what happens. Once we get past this yellow, I think it may be a double yellow. So we'll get through it and see what happens. I can't actually tell if that's a double or a single. But anyway, so we had the German one come up, and that one had a lot more bugs in it. The train was great. They only had one train though. That was the other thing. There was only one train on this, which was a little bit disappointing. No, that was a single yellow, which was really, really disappointing. That it only had the one train, and it cost so much. Yes, the graphics again were absolutely superb. There's no question about the graphics on this. They are absolutely superb. But the fact that it only had the one train, and then they had a lot of bugs on the actual railways. I think I pointed out one where the speed limit dropped from 75 to 50, which is fine, and then from 50 to 19 miles an hour in the space of 200 yards. Now, I don't know how I was supposed to hit 19 miles an hour in 200 yards, because that's kind of impossible to slow a train down that fast. I even slammed on the full emergency brake. The other problem that I had with that tutorial, or that actual DLC, is that there were no tutorials telling us what the signals meant. There were no tutorials telling us... they told us how to start the engine and everything, which was great, but speed limits and signaling, no clue or whatsoever. I had to work it out for myself and rely on you guys in the comments. And you guys were most helpful and told me what some of these meant, and then I worked it out for myself as to what you meant from there, which is, you know, very, very helpful, very nice of you guys. This is the Heathrow Express. We're coming up to what station are we coming up to? Well, we just passed through Slough, so this is the Heathrow Express. So now we're going to be sort of West Drayton and all of them. We're coming into London now. Windsor is just off that way. So yeah, that was a problem. And this one as well, it doesn't have any signaling tutorial at all. There's no signaling tutorial whatsoever, and that is a problem, because if I didn't know the Great Western Railway, I wouldn't know what half the signals meant, I wouldn't know what the speed limits meant, I wouldn't know what those repeaters that you just passed meant. I would be very, very confused. I'd be like, where is everything? Where is the speed limits? How do I know what changes where? You know, there would be no information, and that's a problem. That really is a problem that Dovetail Games and in Train Sim World they need to address for 2018. They really have to address that, fix the bugs, really enhance the simulator there. That was a Morpeth board going the other way, so that's fine. Really enhance the simulator. 70 for the crossing. See, people would be seeing these and going, what does all that mean? What does that mean? Where is all this? What does this change? It's 50 for that crossing, that's fine. So they really need to work on this very much. They have to improve it. Tutorials are a must. That, if they can get tutorials in, the rating of this game will go up a good 10-15%, because people are now going to be able to play it and they're going to know what's going on in this simulator, and they'll be like, oh yeah, that's what it means, or oh yeah, that's what it's doing, or that's what it's doing. I can now understand that. That's what they need, because that's going to improve the enjoyment factor for people. People are going to go, ah, that's what it is. Now I'm not going to be struggling, not knowing where I've gone wrong or what I've done wrong. I'll be just able to enjoy it myself. I'll be able to enjoy it without any worries that, oh, what does this mean? What does that sign mean? What does this sign mean? What does this signal mean? What does that signal mean? What does a flashing amber mean? What does a double yellow mean? What does a flashing double yellow mean? You know, what does a flashing green mean? What, if we're looking at these, what do the diagonal white lines mean? You know, these are not, people going into train simulators are not going to know what these mean if it's new to them. They're not going to know what it means. I know what these mean in Britain, because I know my railways in Britain, and I know the actual what do you call it? I know the signalling systems in the UK, but I don't know it anywhere else. I really don't know it anywhere else. So that's something they really need to work on. The German railways, that needs to, the bugs need to be quashed in that. They really need to be quashed. That's amber for me. That's just turned green, so I'm just gonna coast now. 116 miles an hour. I'm just gonna coast for this amount of time. 70 on the crossing. So now we're coming into London. I think that's my review of 2017 for Train Sim World. It's good. Don't get me wrong, it really is good. It was enjoyable. That's another amber. I'm going to start hitting the brakes here. Yeah, that's a definite amber for me. That's a double yellow. That's just gone to green. I know there's a 100-mile-an-hour limit coming up. See, I know that even without looking in the top right corner, because I know this railway. There's another amber. I'm just going to now just coast it in, and we'll see what happens. Should be a double amber or double yellow. Right, that repeater's telling me it's obviously double yellow. We should have a... There it is. That's just gone green as well. So I have a feeling I'm chasing a slower train right now. We've got an 85 for slower trains, 100 for us. And we're on a double, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to let this train coast, and as you can see the repeater's telling me as well that it's not a clear signal at the end of the station, or at the end of the platform it's not a clear signal. So we should have another buzzer go off. There it is. And this time I've actually passed the double yellow, so now I'm actually going to slow it down to about 70 miles an hour. I'll be watching that next one in front of us. But yeah, so really, I think it's a good title. It really is a good title, but they have to improve upon it, especially with the likes of tutorials. I've been playing Trains: A New Era. Sure, the graphics in Trains: A New Era are nowhere near. Still a double yellow, so I think we're safe along at this speed. Sure, the graphics in Trains: A New Era are nothing like this. They're more cartoony, they're more arcadey, they look more like a fancy model railway, or that kind of stuff. That's a speed limit change for us, 50. I'm actually going to get on the brakes now to slow us down to 50. And I can see another signal, which is amber ahead of us. fact, that's no, that's just gone to double. Yep, I'll watch that. That's 50. 50 we're safe at now. So I'm just going to follow, I'm just going to continue along at this sort of speed because I don't know where the next signal is and what's going on with it. As you can see, that train is popping in on the right hand side, which is really weird. I think 50 is a fairly safe speed to be coming into here. We're almost at Paddington anyway. We're only 2 miles away. This is the Old Oak Common, so we're very, very close. But yeah, I think that it's a good title. The graphics on it are absolutely sublime. Really, really fantastic graphics on this simulator. But is it and can it be called a simulator right now? I think there's still a lot. There's still a lot to be desired for that, right? It looks like we're swapping over tracks. Yep, we're definitely swapping tracks. There's a lot to be desired. There really is a lot to be desired here. So we're going to go over to the left here. No, we're not. Well, what did that signal say? That signal just said we're going over to the left. Ah, it must be this one that we're going over to the left on. Yeah, it'll be this one. Right, our next signal is amber as well. There we go. And that's turned to green, and it looks like we're going to be going further over to the left. So we must be taking something like platform 9. I'm guessing we might be taking platform 9. I can't see a speed warning. I do know we're supposed to be slowing down. There is a 40 coming up. I can't see the warning for it though. There we go, going over to the left again. There's the 40 north warning. So if we just cruise along, this should get us down to 40. Slightly on the brakes just to get our speed down. There we go, we're down to 40 very nicely. And it looks like we are cleared into the platform, whatever platform it is, in a mile. So this is great. We should have a 20 warning coming up very, very soon. There's the 40-mile-an-hour limit. So, you know, the detail is there on the track. I can forgive a few, you know, a little bit of a miss here and there. That's not a problem for me. But I think the physics need improving, and they need to look at each of these trains and go, right, what's going to make it a simulator? Because at the moment, they're not simulators. Right. There's the platforms. So I'm actually going to slow ourselves down to 25, and then from there I'm going to slow ourselves down further to 10. There we go, clear that AWS, we're down to 25, get ourselves in the platform. Looks like platform 10 is what we're taking, not platform 9. So you can see up at the top it says 10, that's the platform. So I wasn't too far off. I thought we might be taking 9, but apparently we're taking 10. That's pretty good. And we should be getting ourselves down to 10 miles an hour. Or 15, I think it may be 15 into Paddington. I think it's 15 into Paddington. So see, I thought we were going to take that one there. But apparently not. Never mind. Oh, sorry, is it this? That's this one here, isn't it? This is platform 9, I think. Yeah, this is platform 9 right here. Right, and now we'll just slow ourselves right the way down and get ourselves parked up in Paddington Station. Welcome to London Paddington. And just ease ourselves in at a nice 12 miles per hour. Very, very easy, very, very simple. Then I can switch off my wipers here. Oh, that's a terrible place to have them switch off. There we go. And we'll just creep up all the way very, very nicely. Make sure, hopefully we don't hit. I'm trying to actually lean up to be able to see further. Right, I can't see that now, so I'm going to actually stop the train about there. Objective complete. There we go. We'll open the doors. On the left hand side, we'll switch off our lights. We will apply the brakes to full service. We will bring that to engine only. And that looks pretty good to me, and I will actually get out of the seat. We'll have a look outside at how close we were. But hopefully you guys enjoyed that year in review for Train Sim World. That's not too bad. It's really not too bad. Maybe I can take the photo like that. Looks a bit foggy here, which is odd. Yeah, look, I'm kind of lined up with the other train. That's actually pretty neat. I'm actually lined up with the other Class 43. But yeah, in short, they need improvements. I think they've got a lot of content coming out that's really nice. I think they need to improve, and they need to look at the content this year, at least for the first half of this year, and go, right, how can we improve each and every bit of this content to the absolute maximum? Go over each of your scenarios, go look at each of your trains and go, yep, let's get this feature working, let's get this feature working, let's fix this thing, let's fix that thing, let's fix the other thing, and really show people that when they look at Train Sim World, they will go, yes, that is a product that I want, and that is something that's worth purchasing because of the realism that it gives across everything, not just visuals, but across the physics, across the sounds, across the actual scenarios as well, and make it nice and challenging but also interesting. Put tutorials in so people that are new to the series can really enjoy it and say, oh yeah, I can understand this, I can understand this, and I can understand this. And that will really help people out. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Please remember to hit the like button if you like this video, subscribe to the channel for more videos on Train Sim World, leave a comment in the comments box below letting me know what you think, and thank you very much for the over the 2,000 subscribers. Happy New Year to everybody. I think this is coming out on Friday, so it's the first week of January. And also, if you really enjoy my content, please do consider supporting me on Patreon. Link to that is in the description box below. I would massively appreciate your support. It would help me out a huge amount. I'll leave you guys now, and maybe I'll catch another train, maybe I won't. I'll have to see. Thank you very much for watching once again, and I will see you guys next time in Train Sim World.